Is Reverend Pam Geagan from the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley. It's wonderful to be with you tonight on Facebook Live as I begin my talk about emptying out the negative and embracing the positive and how we do that. So, as we begin, I just want to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. And the reason is that we're talking about this even is sometimes it's in this period of change, emptying out the negative is not always easy. We've all gone through times that have been really difficult for us. So the question for us today is your commitment greater than your resistance to anything new? So it seems with our innate God-given gifts as humans, many times we have a tendency not to see the whole picture, not to follow our intuition, our God-given third eye intuition, our whole body intuition, or our passion. Many times we fall back into past times. Many times we fall back into things into habits and things that kept us playing small instead of becoming even greater in our vision and in our wanting to experience more. There's an old saying, if the only tool you have is a hammer, you will start treating all your problems like a nail. We have unfathomable tools available to us in our spiritual tool chest. Anything we desire is there. It's up to us to open up to what is next for us and to complete the vision of what we want and get rid of the small petty things that hold us back. Many times we see just one piece of the puzzle instead of seeing the beautiful puzzle with all its perfect pieces. That piece seems like we're only seeing this one microscopic part. And so when the pattern of past circumstances that stopped us before, because that was the old puzzle piece, show up, it's because all of the puzzle pieces have not come together to reveal the wholeness of our beautiful vision. I shared this on Sunday, but I'll never forget I had an art class in college, and they showed us different parts of a face, the same face of someone, and the lips were like just totally out of proportion. The nose was not attractive at all, like you would not want this nose. The eyebrows were too thick and the jawline too strong, and then the eyes had an odd shape to them. And yet when you put all those pieces together, the face was Sophia Loren, one of the most beautiful women in the world. So let us know that we all go through painful times and times of choices we made that we regretted. Instead of using them as the thing to go back to, I mean, we already know we've lost loved ones. We've had a hard time sometimes in jobs. And like that puzzle piece that doesn't seem to fit anymore, we have this limited perspective that stops us from stepping into that new experience of seeing the whole puzzle and bringing it together. The experience of unlimited possibility, because that's what we are. We are spiritual beings with unlimited possibility. So one of the stories I've said maybe in the past, but I don't think on Uplift this on Thursday nights, is 17 months ago we closed down our center because of COVID. We've been continuing to pay rent on our center. Our wonderful landlord, who we pay the rent to, actually we paid him a little less rent. So instead of having to take out a loan, he carried that loan, so to speak, with no interest, and we were able to keep our center. If I had known, I thought it would be like 3 months. If I had known it was going to be 17 months, I would have made different choices. I didn't see all the puzzle pieces. So when all the puzzle pieces came back together, and we came together last Sunday in person for actually July 4th, and the next day for a wonderful celebration of life for our wonderful Betty Ann Brennan, our assistant minister. But when all the puzzle pieces were in, it's like our wonderful Betty Ann used to say all the time, my life is unfolding perfectly no matter what. And when you trust the divine spirit within that is always working in and through and as you and for you, despite all appearances, you let go of the safety of the past. You step forward into the trust, knowing that you are divinely supported. You begin to see the whole beautiful puzzle in its entirety, like Sophia Loren's face. You see and understand that our vision is a mystical glimpse only into the infinite possibility, urging itself into expression in and through as you and as me and as all. So I have a spiritual kit, and I'm going to share those 7 tools, those 7 spiritual tools that I use daily to continue to build my spiritual muscle and faith and ensure that I experience more happiness, greater well-being, greater connection with God, which is synonymous with love for me. God and love are the same. And so I continue to use these tools every day. And if you would like these tools, I would be so happy to email them to you if you email us at cspleasantvalley@gmail.org. Actually, no, it's at gmail.com. So number 1, start the day with a short or long meditation or prayer. Many successful people, like the Oprah Winfrey, the Buddhists, the Hindus, the nuns, the Vedantists, religious scientists, Christians, all faiths begin their day by calling upon that rock that keeps them strong and meditating or praying on, whether that means reciting a prayer, practicing quietude in meditation, or being mindful in that moment, or listening to a guided meditation, setting aside a time to create a higher set point for connection to the divine. When you do that, what it creates in that fertile soil that just says yes, the law of the universe, it's like the passion of what you desire is the love going into the soil, the law that just says yes, and you nurture that seed, plant it and nurture it with your peace, with your grace, with your gratitude, and you water it and nurture it until it comes to its next evolution of the puzzle, so to speak. And what it does, it begins your day peacefully and begins to set a grateful mindset for a successful day. The second suggestion is go and have a walking meditation. Spiritual practice doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to church or temple. Walking in a purposeful and conscious way can also become a spiritual practice. It gives you a chance to clear your mind and reflect. You can use it as an opportunity to break from the business of your day and reconnect with the clarity and the joy and the divinity of the spiritual self. I am so lucky. I live close to the beach, and I would say at least 6 out of 7 mornings I get up early enough to walk on the beach, where I am so happy, so comfortable, feeling at one with it all, with the sand, with the sky, with the waves, with the sound, with the wildlife, the birds, the dolphins, the sea lions, all of it. I am just clam happy, and I look and I think it is such a learning lesson, and it truly, tide and time wait for no one. If you have an opportunity, even if it's a walk outside in front of your building in the sunshine, please take a moment, and even if it's 5 minutes, it will enliven you, absolutely re-energize you, and connect you with the allness of everything, which will connect you with the soul that you already have that is longing for that connection. The third spiritual tool I have in my toolbox is make time for short spirit breaks throughout the day. Help improve your mindfulness by doing this, your clarity, your health, again, your wellness and performance in all areas of your life. It also provides, when you take these short breaks, an opportunity to have a short calming meditation or prayer. And that can maybe even be a simple yoga stretch or a simple stretching of the body, whatever. Deep breathing from the very top of the head with a love is, God is, I am on the out breath. And then 2 more with God is and I am, and 1 more silently. And when you do this deep breathing, if you have the opportunity to sit away from your computer, the office, or wherever your workspace is, going outside in the fresh air for even just 5 minutes and simply going into the quiet, use even a favorite prayer to center yourself in the divine experience. It will change and enliven you and regenerate you for the rest of the day. And one we always share is practice gratitude. This is the 4th spiritual tool. Practice gratitude in all areas of your life. Master Eckhart wrote, if the only prayer you ever said in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. What I know about gratitude is it sends a powerful message. Many teachings prescribe gratitude as the antidote to any negative emotions, such as greed, anger, envy, actually procrastination, and just keeping a regular gratitude journal or simply reflecting on the good people in your life, the good circumstances in your life, and the good things that are going well in your life represents a simple daily spiritual practice that helps harness, and it has so many benefits. It has so many positive benefits once it is harnessed, that energy. And it is interesting because just being grateful for certain things, like I always say, I'm just grateful instead of complaining about having to clean the house or do chores or whatever it is, instead of looking them at chores, I now say thank you for giving me the ability, the capability, the time and the energy and space to get all done that I would like to accomplish in this moment. Here's a big one too. Here's another big frog, and this relates to me too. My husband died a few years ago, quite a few years ago actually, and I used to turn on Dr. Phil, because Dr. Phil was on, the reruns were on all night, and I used to say Dr. Phil became on television my significant other. Now I have learned, instead of going to sleep watching Dr. Phil, or the best is watching the Hitler channel, which is the history channel, but usually they have so many programs on about Hitler that I nicknamed it the Hitler channel, or the ID channel, the investigative detective channel, which I nicknamed the murder channel. Turn off the TV, turn off the electric devices, and read books, even if it's for a few minutes, about spirituality. We have access to any ancient spiritual wisdom from the Tibetan monks, the Bibles, all teachings, all faiths. Reading about new spiritual practices, teachings, and ways of thinking not only adds new tools to your spiritual tool chest, it expands the beauty of the spiritual wisdom you know and already practice. Plus, it will help you get a peaceful, wonderful night's rest. 6th tool, find a spiritual community that supports your spirituality and expands your consciousness. Find a community that brings you into the fold, into the group of like-minded people that support each other in their spiritual practices and their spiritual quests and their spiritual evolution. This can prove especially powerful in an age of increasingly, especially after COVID just recently and being more in isolation. It can absolutely bring you into an age of increasingly more connection. And whatever path calls to you, you can seek it out and be in that path, on that journey with others just like you. Not just like you, but have the same aspirations. This could mean I would love it if you would join us on Sunday mornings, either on Facebook Live at 10:30 at CSL Pleasant Valley on Facebook, or Sunday in our wonderful spiritual center that we've just reopened with all COVID guidelines being matched, including we changed out all the filters in our air conditioners. So we have the filters that filter out all the germs. So it can mean attending a yoga class too, once or twice a week, or attending a spiritual festival. You'll meet more than likely, you'll meet new people, make new friends that share your values, and you'll feel so much more socially, spiritually connected. You'll feel like you're home. Plus, I always say when people walk in the door, welcome home. I'm glad you found us. I'm glad you're listening to me right now. And I'm glad you recognize that home is where the heart is and where the passion of the divine spirit is that matches your soul calling. The seventh and last spiritual tool I'm sharing tonight is practice spirituality in all your in everything you do in your daily activities. Many religions teach people to find meaning in meditation, everyday life, whether it means working hard to support a family. That is a meditation in itself, when it's for a higher reason. I started my business, which I don't have anymore because now I'm a minister, but I had a strong background in working in Hollywood, in front of and behind the camera, in production. And after my children were born, I thought, this is so strange to have them go out. I was working very long hours, traveling and all those things. And I thought, this is so strange to have someone else raise your children in daycare that don't share your values necessarily. I mean, they were loving, they were kind, but not necessarily my husband and ours values. So I started my own company, and everything I've ever done, which would be nice if I did it because I wanted to do it, but I did it so that I had my own video production company so I could work around being with my children during the day. So what drove me and that passion to develop this company, and it really worked very, very well all the time through college, actually, when through my children's high school. And then I became a minister, and then after they were in college and doing their own lives more or less. But when it's something greater than you are, and my children were really important to me and I wanted to be with them, and there were times, at that time nobody was working at home very much, and I would go into the bathroom and put sleeping bags over my head, and they'd be at the door pounding, "Mommy, mommy, mommy," to let them in. And I'd pretend I had my own office, but it all paid off. I have wonderful children. I'm so glad that I took that extra step. But what called me was something greater. When no matter what you're doing, when you realize it's something greater that you're working for, whether it's to support your family or helping others in all walks of life, when you incorporate spiritual practices that continue to connect you, you will have a stronger family unit. You can do that even within the family or wherever you are, by appreciating every meal, by saying a prayer, or even going in silence if no one prays at that table. Or by creating ongoing supportive habits, like putting a few minutes aside to share your day with one another in the family. Shift your thinking from, oh my God, as I said before, I have to clean the house, to, oh my God, I'm so lucky I have the energy to clean the house or wash the dishes. And put the love in just how grateful I am. I have a house and I have dishes to wash and a place to stay. Finding joy in the mundane things that happen every day in our lives is also important. I call this things like taking out the trash and celebrating even the smallest things, about how lucky I am that, again, I have the skills I have the energy, the mobility to do things like this, and how wonderful I have a trash service that picks it up and takes it away. so that I can fill up another can another day. So even the smallest things when you're celebrating can bring deeper meaning into your life when you see with that greater sense of vitality and connectedness with the love of God that is within you. It is absolutely expressing in and through and as you. So in closing, we are responsible for how we respond to any given set of circumstances. We can set up our circumstances to be joyous. Excuse me, I'm going to have a drink of water. Or we can set up and let ourselves down by not doing anything but complaining and seeing the negative side of life. Empty out the negative. Make room for the new positive coming in. For your and mine, our divine eternal path of becoming is strewn with obstacles. Of course, that's what makes us who we are. But we are always a choice. We can take the high road or the low road. The high road, many times filled with ruts and longer distances, builds our spiritual muscle and our faith. Because what I know for sure is that tough times offer the greatest opportunities to expand our consciousness beyond appearances, no matter what is going on in your life, and that your life, my life, all lives are unfolding perfectly, no matter what, into that greater vision of what you desire and I desire most. So remain in faith and knowing that the message of the universe is conspiring to pull all of us upward and onward into revealing that entire beautiful puzzle in which we may launch, just like Richard Branson did this last week, our great spiritual vision. He wanted to go into space. He's always wanted to go into space, and he accomplished that. And Richard Branson had, owner of Virgin Airlines, Virgin Atlantic Airlines, had so many failures, and like so many of the great inventors, like Edison and so many others, Walt Disney, they kept going toward the vision they desired. And not once, now it is his next great accomplishment, his next great vision is to go to Mars, along with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who's going up next week. So whatever your vision is, stay in that moment of knowing that God is, I am. And that's the way it always is. And I'll see you in the morning with meditation and just saying, Namaste, peace out. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'll see you on the flip side tomorrow morning with our meditation, Pulled by Vision. And I love each and every one of you. Mwah!